It's interesting when people ask me like what's my background. I've done so many different things and had opportunities to dabble in a lot of different roles. And so currently, although I'm working as a software delivery manager, working in software engineering, I've gone through multiple roles to get here, dabbling in software engineering management, working in a bit of law, doing a bit of testing, doing some BA work. And so I've been able to actually go through lots of different roles and see what I like and see what I definitely don't like as well. I've always been a bit of a weirdo. I've always been a bit of a nerd. I've always loved really difficult and interesting things. So it kind of makes sense for me to be in the STEM sector, especially when it comes to engineering and technology. From a young age, I've had a strong interest in robotics, and I carried on that interest through to my studying, my degree, and through to the work that I've done in the past. Um, in terms of tech, I've always been interested in tech as well. I always used to bug my mum to try and get me the newest phone. I'd always want the newest devices, newest laptop, newest everything. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I want to actually find out more about this. I want to work at those sort of places. I don't just want to have something, I want to understand how it works, etc. And so having that inside knowledge and being part of that big tech culture means that you're able to be at the center of so many interesting things, so many new ideas, so many new languages, and just things that you didn't think were possible. Then you turn around and next year it's possible. And being part of that just means that you're constantly working hard, you're always inspired, you're surrounded by amazing people. And so for me, tech is that industry where you'll never be bored. I was going to say you'll never be tired. You'll be tired, but you'll always be interested to learn more, and you'll never stop learning. There's so much to learn, so much to do. I've ended up doing quite a few different things in order to get where I am today. I did the typical STEM path at school, so studying maths and science at GCSEs, studying maths, physics and chemistry at A level, and then I ended up doing a master's in electrical and electronic engineering at the University of Bradford. And during my time there, I discovered a couple of modules that inspired me to pursue my interest in software engineering. I really enjoyed coding, writing code, and some of my final year projects included creating little apps similar to the HSBC banking system. And so from doing those projects, I was able to see, okay, there's a whole new sector of engineering out there that I hadn't even considered. Obviously, there were students that were studying computer science, but at the time that was still quite new, and it was a bit late for me. I was in my master's, so never mind. But then I thought, okay, let me look at some jobs and see how I can actually get into software engineering. I've discovered that I really like to code, and I like seeing the whole process from start to finish. With my knowledge of electrical and electronic engineering, it means that I'm able to write and build all the hardware required. And so I wanted to take it to the next step and say, okay, now I can build the hardware. I actually want to program the software. And then that's essentially the whole life cycle of this product completed. And so that's where I got my passion to look into this as a career. And I ended up starting off my career as a graduate software engineer quite a long time ago. It feels like quite a while ago anyway. And so from that, I started to see the different aspects, the different languages, the different parts to the puzzle that I wanted to complete. And I went through a couple of years of doing different roles in software engineering. So I started doing back end development, did a bit of full stack. I moved into front end development, which I started to realize was my preferred area of software engineering, because I like the idea of having something that people could see, and it was a lot easier to explain. Being able to do all the logic and magic under the hood, and for it to just be so visual and simple to a user was something that was quite pleasing to me as a developer at the time. And then from there, I decided, okay, I think I've got enough knowledge. I don't want to actually write code anymore. I want to be able to build teams and manage people that would be doing all this work instead. As I was going through my career, I thought you couldn't really manage people or a team or be a mentor or inspiration if you haven't even dabbled in that type of role or set foot in their shoes. And so I found it very useful that I have that like very strong technical background in order to lead teams, because they'll respect and understand your growth, and then it's clear from your experience that you understand the work that they've been through as well. So it shows them that you actually know what you're talking about a lot more. You understand them, and then you get better results from them as well. And then it's just a way better environment to work in. What do I want to achieve in the next 5 years? Interesting. I want to achieve a lot. The main thing on my mind is I want to successfully complete my professional registration with the Institution of Engineering and Technology and become a chartered engineer. That's been one of my main goals and was probably the main reason, it was the main reason why I studied the masters, because I knew that that would help me achieve that certification. So that's something I'm currently working on at the moment. In terms of my day-to-day and my career, in 5 years' time, I would like to either be a C-level executive at a small startup or a small company, a company that is starting to establish themselves and needs that push, and it'll be a great opportunity. Or I would like to be higher up in management, managing quite a few teams. At the moment, I'm managing one large team, but I would like in 5 years' time to be managing maybe like 4 to 6 teams. That'd be quite good. But let's keep the bar high. Let's see if I can be a C-level exec somewhere in 5 years' time. Catch up with me and see where I am. I'd like to have a really well-established meetup group or some sort of group dedicated to mentoring young women looking or interested in careers in STEM. I've done a lot of mentoring at schools with STEM ambassadors, with STEMettes, and I think it's definitely achievable for me to have created my own sort of brand dedicated to helping young women find networking opportunities, find mentors, and find inspirational figures, even if that's just joining for lightning talks or mentors sessions once a month or etc. That's probably my other main goal. So yeah, become a C-level exec, become a chartered engineer, and have a well-established group dedicated to helping young women interested in STEM. My main piece of advice would be, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and also don't be afraid to ask for help. I think it's really important to reach out to, even if it's people you don't know, reaching out to mentors or getting advice as early on as possible. Having that bond and having someone to talk to quite early on just means that you're able to get as much advice as you can, and literally just having a buddy, someone's brain to pick whenever they're free, just means that earlier on in your career, even when you're at school, you're able to figure out what you like or don't like a lot earlier. You're able to make a lot of mistakes, and you're able to see a lot of opportunities that you probably wouldn't have seen if you didn't have a mentor. I think having mentors will also just boost your confidence a lot sooner, especially if you're a female in STEM at a younger age. You definitely need to build up your confidence so that you're just fearless and you can do what you want to do. And I think that's definitely something that's valuable the younger you are, and learning that lesson earlier. So mentors are key to success.